It's Tyler's birthday, and Week 7 is in the books. We're here at the InSports facility. It's 11:20, and this is the postgame show presented by the Star Factory. All right, gentlemen, let's just get right into it. We had the Serial Killers and the Cucumbas on court 2. How did that end up?
Serial Killers took that one 71-64, the Cucumbas. Serial Killers looked a little rough in the beginning. Cucumbas definitely were putting on the defensive pressure. But Serial Killers came back in the fourth quarter, came from 6 down to eventually get the W. Tyron dropped 18, was 4 from 9 from 3, and Davin Serpensky had a good 16 points, 7 rebounds in the loss.
And if I'm correct, the Cucumbas were up 2 at halftime?
Yep, and they kind of fell to the Serial Killers. Serial Killers, I mean, they definitely picked it up in the second half, but they have a lot to go.
Absolutely.
Thank God they corrected the slide a little bit, got the win, but a lot to improve from.
Well, that's a much-needed win for the Serial Killers. They go to 3-4 as the Cucumbas go 2-5. Now we move over to the Temptations and Blood, Sweat, and Beers. How did that one end up?
Well, as we expected, Carmine and Eric Silva were dominant. Neither could be stopped throughout the game. Temptations ended up getting the 16-point victory. Like last week, BSB struggled with turnovers and foul trouble, especially in their own free throw shooting. They didn't even hit close to 50% of their free throws. If that continues to plague them, their slide will continue.
Yeah.
So they started off 4-0. They now dropped 3 straight, and I think it's real concern.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, Eric. The Temptations look good tonight. They definitely utilized their play, and the BSB squad were playing very lackadaisically. They had a lot of turnovers. Andrew Sampietro had some lazy turnovers as well as the whole team. And they just didn't look like themselves in the first 4 weeks, like you said. And now that's why they're 4-3 going into Week 8. Let's hope for a better turnout next week.
And I think we should give some credit to the Temptations defense as well. It wasn't just BSB being reckless with the ball. Fred Milford continues to be a defensive menace. All year he's been doing it. Most underrated defender out there in the league with Cahill of the Brotherhood. And I really think he's an unsung hero for the Temptations.
Yeah, and unlike last week when it was only Carmine Santorelli on the offensive side, it looked like Eric Silva, Fred Milford, Chris Diaz, and Carmine really produced on the offensive side, which definitely helped them give them the W over the BSB squad.
And we did see Diaz and Chris Aaron of the Cucumbas jawing at the sidelines a little bit. I'd be interested to see if that one materialized later in the season.
Well, we'll see what happens with that. Moving over to Court 2, the Goon Squad, one time. What was the result?
So this was a big win for the Goon Squad. They were in triple digits. They won 102-66 over one time, who continues to free fall. Matt Marconi had another huge night. He had 47 points and 11 rebounds, double-double, big night. Just shot the ball very well. The whole team played great as a unit. Brandon Massaro was good from behind the arc. And obviously, this one-time team has really struggled ever since Eric Rankin bowed out halfway through the season. So now they've really lost a lot of their scoring options, and it's been obvious. Goon Squad had their biggest scoring night of the season. Like I said, getting into triple digits for the first time. It was a dominant performance, and at times Goon Squad was sort of, took possessions off because sort of a game that they had in the bag.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And it seemed like Goon Squad did what they said in the post-game show with Matt Marconi, where he said that they had to come into the game going fast-paced, not coming out slow. And it seems like they did that tonight.
Yeah, they've commented at times that they were frustrated with how they'd been playing down to teams. Mm-hmm. And I think that today was sort of a change in a trend for them, where they sort of really put their foot on the gas and they really put away a team that they should have put away. And
Absolutely. Exactly. I couldn't have put it any better. When I interviewed him at the end of the game, he said we finally got out on the run, got some fast break points, and this would have turned into 102 points. So,
well, the Goon Squad, they look to go into Week 8 with the 6-1 record. Very impressive. One time 0-7. So we look to see them get their first win next week. We'll see what happens there. Going over to the 10 o'clock game on Court 1, Run TMC No Limit. Interesting game. Eric, how did that one go?
Going in this week, I was really excited to see this game. You had, the 2-4 Run TMC team, but they were on their way up. They picked up 2 straight victories, and you had No Limit, who, they were flying high. But Run TMC got the upset. They ended up pulling off the 77-67 win, and really the key for them was Reggie Stewart.
Absolutely.
Ever since, like I said in the pregame, when he was injected into the lineup, they became a new team. That was evidenced again today with 22 points, and the point guard contributed 12 boards on the glass. So anytime you get that many boards from the point guard, that's going to help you out. And as far as No Limit, they were 4 of 37 from three-pointer. That's really the reason.
That really sums it up.
You can point to that directly for the reason that they lost. This is the team that's led in three-pointers by a grand margin over the rest of the league. They struggle mightily tonight, and they lose.
Yeah, I spoke to Terrell Vargas during the halftime show. I said it looked like they came out looked as if they were playing an Airballers team or a one-time team, but it wasn't. They were playing the Run TMC squad, and like Eric said, Run TMC has changed with the new input of Reggie Stewart, and Reggie Stewart really shut this team down, not just by himself, but with his free throws at the end of the game, along with his whole team just to help him out, facilitating the ball. I was really impressed with this Run TMC, and I'm a little disappointed that I was wrong in my predictions, and that's going to bite me in the long run. Anyone else have anything to say about that?
Yeah, I was going to say, you touched on it, and I think that one of the underrated points in that game is how well that Run TMC shot from the free throw line in the fourth quarter. Reggie Stewart, like you said, didn't miss in the fourth quarter from the free throw line. And that's sort of, as they were trying to elongate the game, fouling at the end, he sort of put it out of reach with his effectiveness at the three-point line.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think No Limit is one of my more favorite teams. I like how they play. I like how they handle the ball. But this week, they did not show any of the things that I enjoy seeing them play week in, week out. They shot the ball an excessive amount behind the three. It didn't pay off. They didn't play defense. They didn't get back. They just did all the things wrong. And Run TMC was able to take the advantage and get the W, which was a much-needed win for Week 7. So the Run TMC moves on 3-4, No Limit, 5-2 after Week 7. That was a great game. I enjoyed every second of it. Now moving on to the Titans Airballers game. 10 o'clock game at Court 2. Gentlemen?
Well, Titans, they snagged their second straight win with a 63-52 win over the Airballers. Airballers started pretty rough. It started playing with 3 people to start the game. Wow. A 13-0 run right in the beginning for the Titans. I think they scored like 2 points. Airballers scored 2 points in the first quarter.
They went into the half with just 14 points. It was, Jalen Smalls sort of continues to be the only bright spot for that team. He finished this night with 22 points, 9 rebounds. Mm-hmm. But again,
not surprising at all.
Yeah, of course. But he also entered a couple minutes into that first quarter, and I think it was strange, to see that, the game starts. They have 3 guys on their side, and of course, the team that hasn't won all season, that's not really a recipe for success. Not fielding a whole team, so.
Yep. I mean, it really sums it up when you have 3 teammates at the start of the game. Yep. You definitely, as an Airballers team, you definitely.
We gotta adjust a little bit.
Exactly. And I'm telling Joey Zacco, give me a purple jersey. I want to get out there. I want to help them out as much as I can.
Based off the picks, it sounds like you're already on the team.
I really wish I was.
No, I don't want to take anything away from the Titans team, though. They played well today again. They got their second victory in a row, and this is a team that, up until last week, was winless, and now, of course, they're trending upwards with 2 straight wins.
And it's very crucial at the end of in the second half of the season. You need to do whatever you can to get into a better seed.
Absolutely.
When you move into the playoffs and hopefully not play the bigger and more difficult teams. So it's big for the Titans, and hopefully they can move up a little further.
Oh yeah. And they have 2 of the top 5 3-point shooters in the league with Jack Champagne and Greg Horn. So they could score some points. It's just, let's see what they can do, and hopefully they can get some more wins.
So we have the Titans now on the way up, and BS&B in free fall. That's maybe a projected playoff matchup we have coming up. What do you think about that?
I mean, I could see that happening between those two. BS&B has a free fall so far, and the Titans have slowly crawled up. It'd be very interesting seeing as BS&B did tackle Titans earlier in the year. But we'll have to see when the year runs out, and hopefully they meet again.
Only a few weeks left, so we'll see. Titans move on 2-5. Airballers 0-7 after week 7. We move on to the game of the week, gentlemen. The Brotherhood versus Sportslook. Very interesting game. Eric, can you sum this one up?
Well, you had the Brotherhood coasting in the first half, up 20, looking like the normal team. And then Scotty Korshard went off in the second half, draining threes from everywhere, cut it to single digits. You maybe felt like a comeback could happen, but then Michael Davis just buckled down with the defense, Russ Payton, and they were able to pull away and get the 11-point victory over Sportslook. Brian Acevedo continues to struggle shooting. I don't even know what his percentage was tonight, but it must have been really poor.
And there was a lot of chirping on both sides of the benches. It definitely had an impact on the Sportslook team, as they were very flustered with Jabril for the Brotherhood, just chirping away, just getting in their heads, and that definitely had a major impact going into the halftime when they were down around 20 points.
Yeah.
And I was very impressed to see the team just come back, keep running, grinding out, and get within at least 9 or 8 points at some point. But unfortunately, they didn't have what it took to beat the undefeated Brotherhood, the defending champions. But we'll see what happens in the near future.
Coming into the season, we see Sportslook, a team. They have their own sideline assistant coach. So we think they're, this organized team, very level-headed, and you actually saw, them get away from that today and lose their cool.
Yep.
And the Brotherhood, they just stayed even keel, even during the comeback, and they were just able to take care of business.
And we did have an insider report at the beginning of the game saying that the assistant coach told Brian Acevedo to shoot 1,000,000 shots, 1,000 shots, whatever. That didn't pay off. He shot from behind the arc, behind over there, off balance, everything, and it didn't work out in his favor, and that was part of the reason why they didn't get the W.
He's going to need to do something to break out of this slump if Sportslook wants to make a run in the playoffs.
Exactly, and I thought Eric Green, the new recruit, the last couple of weeks was a good player, but tonight the Brotherhood looked to find some flaws in his game and definitely utilize that.
You see him and Tim Adante battling in the post down
absolutely.
there. I'd say Green may even have the height advantage, but Adante was just giving him
more
the body,
physical,
boxing out, and he really got the best of that matchup.
And I also said, I think last week, that Scotty Korshard was probably my favorite pick for top point guard, top ball dribbler, whatever it was. And he comes in here at the first half with 5 turnovers or so. And it really had an impact going into the halftime. And that led to the loss, which makes them 5-2 after week 7.
But then you see at the same time how he energized the comeback,
He did
hitting all
indeed.
those threes. But not to mention he was diving on the ground on defense, throwing great passes all around. So I thought of anyone on Sportslook, he had the one good performance.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that even though that they're down at 20, they just keep grinding it out. They work as a team, and they fight as hard as they can just to get back into it. That's all we have tonight, folks. If you want to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, follow us at @legacy_leagues. And please, if you want to follow us, the scores, the stats, player stats, and all that, visit thelegacyleagues.com. That's all we have for tonight. Thank you very much.